Welcome back to a new month, March 1st. Hard to believe we are already here. Today I have a big juicy topic for you, and that is 3 reasons why you can't lose weight, or when you do take weight off, you can't keep the weight off. But before we talk about that, I once again want to mention a favorite platform of mine, Skillshare. This certainly is not the first time you've heard me talk about Skillshare. They are sponsoring a portion of today's video, but I just have to say how much I love this platform. A couple of different reasons. Number one, if I want to hone in on skills that I already have, but I want to expand my knowledge or skill in that area, they have the perfect classes for me. I also have a creative side to me, and they offer so many classes and workshops that have to do with creativity. The third reason I love Skillshare so much is when I am trying to learn a new skill, or it's just something really new to me, but I'm interested, I know that I can always go to Skillshare to find a class that will serve that desire. The other thing is I love that they have classes for every skill level, so it doesn't matter where you're at, and classes that can fit every schedule. They are also $10 a month with an annual subscription. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description box below will get a free trial of their premium membership so that you can tap into your creativity, you can hone in on a skill you're already good at, or learn a new skill. Believe me when I say there are so many inspiring classes on every topic you can imagine. Today's topic was a class that I took on leadership. This was a 14-minute class that I think is great for young professionals breaking into a leadership or management role. This is a quick guide to discover your leadership skills, but there are so many more leadership classes you can take to expand on this topic. All right, 3 reasons why you struggle to take weight off, and when you do, it just doesn't stick. In all honesty, to be successful at losing weight, it is not necessarily about the diet and exercise. I've shared before that all diets work. All diets, no matter which one you follow, can achieve weight loss. It's not the diet that doesn't work, it's we don't work for the diet because typically we don't stick with it. So when someone tells you they tried a specific diet and then they tell you it didn't work, what they're really saying is they didn't follow it. You just don't hear people say that. But the diet will achieve weight loss if you stick to it. Exercise. We all know that exercise complements a healthy diet, and if we're trying to lose weight, if we clean up our diet and do it consistently, which is a big word, consistency, and we exercise, the two are going to merge together like peanut butter and jelly, and you can achieve results. That's not the problem. That's why buying the diet book or buying into the diet program or the weight loss exercise program isn't what's going to achieve your results. It's all about you and what's going on upstairs. It's important to understand to not put so much focus on diet and exercise. When I work with my clients, when I am doing health and wellness coaching, they always want to talk about the diet, the foods they're eating or the foods they shouldn't eat, or what can I eat to lose weight? Well, taking food is going to put weight on, not take it off. They also want to focus on exercise. I ask a lot of empowering, intuitive questions to get them talking, to find out what has worked for them in the past and what didn't work, but it's never about the food or the exercise. It's about what's going on in the mind. One of the biggest reasons you're not achieving success in losing weight is number 1, your yes and no's don't align with your goals. If you really want to achieve weight loss, you are going to be saying no all the time. And people don't think about that because their focus is on the food or the exercise. But it's all about what you are saying no to and what you are saying yes to. You have to be able to pause in the moment when you're looking at food options and food choices and say, am I willing to say no to this? There's a lot of exercises that I do with my clients where I have them track throughout the entire week How many times they are willing to say no to something that they truly want? The problem is we're just not willing to consistently say no. Now, it's not that saying yes to the food item that doesn't serve your goals is going to derail you from taking any weight off, but it takes consistency. People that take weight off are constantly saying no. It's repetitive. They're saying no day in, day out, and often they're planning their yes meals, and it's only one a week. The problem is there's too many yeses taking place throughout the week, and therefore you can't achieve success. Also, it takes time, and we'll get more into that. There's too much negotiating. So number 2 is you can't identify your negotiables and non-negotiables, and this falls back into your yes and no's, because saying yes to something is negotiating on that. Saying no to something is not negotiating on that. Are you negotiating on your sleep? Are you negotiating on what groceries you're purchasing? Are you negotiating on your exercise routine? I always say if you wouldn't be willing to call in sick, you don't call in sick on your exercise routine. If your goal is to work out 4 days a week and you've got 2 in and you have 2 more to go, just know that there's 2 more that you cannot negotiate on. You cannot say no to them. You're not going to achieve success by saying no to the things that serve weight loss and yes to the things that don't. You have to get your no's and your yeses, your negotiables and your non-negotiables in alignment with what your goal is. Again, you're going to be saying no all the time. You may be saying no to going out to dinner. You may be saying no to the birthday cake. You may be saying no to the wine. It's a constant no, no, no. And a lot of people have a lot of negative energy around the word no. But understand, if that is you, it also is determining whether you're going to be successful or you're not going to be successful. The final reason, and this is such a hard bone to chew, you have trained and programmed your body to want to stay at a certain weight. We thrive on homostasis. So the important thing that I can't stress enough is to get into a weight window and stay there. Because what happens is our bodies get conditioned to what we train it and teach it. So if you are 165 pounds and you would like to lose 25 to 30 pounds, your body is going to fight you so hard because you have been 165 for so long. The body doesn't want to be disrupted. It wants to stay there. It wants to stay where it's safe and it's comfortable and where you've conditioned your body to want to be. So losing weight takes time, and people aren't willing to put the time in. It's a long duration. You can get the weight off, but you have to hold that weight long enough for your body to get a new set point. If your set point is 165 and you take 10 to 15 pounds off in, let's say, a couple of months, but then you go on a week's vacation and you get back to eating like you were eating prior to taking the weight off, your body is going to go right back to the set point of 165. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to think, I can't do this. You're going to blame it on your age, your thyroid, how many pregnancies you've had, and everything else. No, it's really you. It's you, because you're not staying the course long enough to get that new set point. I'll share a story with you that's a great example. I know of a particular person that lost 50 pounds in 1 year. She took her time and she lost all 50 pounds. Now, her method is not what really the key was. She was watching calories, but that's not the key message here. What happened was when she got to year 2, her body wanted to stay there. But you know why it stayed there? It was because she continued to do what she was doing. So if you have a goal to take off 50 pounds, and once you get there, you go back to your old patterns, your set point is going to want to fluctuate. So we train and condition the set point of our weight to be what we're always at. I'll use myself as an example. I've talked many times about how I like to stay in a 5-pound window. Well, that 5-pound window is my set point. My body actually likes to stay there because I've trained and conditioned it to stay there. So I can have a cheat meal here or there or a celebratory meal, and I may go to the high part of that 5-pound window. And if I clean it up, I'll go to the low part. But my body is very comfortable in that set point because I've trained it and I've stayed there so long. Well, over time in 2020, my eating habits changed and I was eating a lot more standard American diet, drinking a lot more wine, and my weight went up. Makes sense that it would, considering my diet, although all of my workouts stayed the same. Still did 5 workouts a week and still did just as intense of a workout, but we all know you can't work off a bad diet. My set point over time changed and it went up. So now guess what happens? It's so much harder to take that weight off because I can do good for 7 days and then have a heavy cheat meal and my weight just wants to go right back up. It wants to get back to the new weight that I trained it to be at. So if you have a weight window, the key is to stay in it because you want that to be your weight set point. Once you creep out of it and your body develops this new set point, it is going to fight you and you are going to have your hands so much more full trying to get that weight down. Because as soon as you start eating standard American or food that doesn't complement your weight loss program, the needle is going to go up. And you don't want that to happen. And that's why people fall off the course way too soon before they can get to the goal weight. Because you really have to stay the course. It's consistency. It's day in, day out, saying no to the things that you know you want to say yes to and not negotiating on them. And you have to do it for a long period of time for the new set point. Anyone can drop 10 pounds. Anyone can drop 20 pounds. And they can do it relatively fast. But you have to stay at that lower weight, that dropped weight, long enough for your body to acclimate to that new body set point, that new weight set point. Most people don't stay there long enough. They will lose weight for a goal and they'll be motivated because they have something coming up that's motivating them to take the weight off. Maybe it's a trip, maybe it's a wedding, maybe it's a class reunion, whatever it may be. And they'll be motivated to take the weight off and they'll get it off, but then they go on the trip or whatever it is, and they eat bad. And then they come back and they've put on some weight and typically they don't get right back on the plan. And it manifests, and next thing you know, your body wants to immediately go back up to that higher weight because you haven't programmed it. Now, let's go back to the person who lost 50 pounds and she had a new weight set point. If she were to go on a trip for 7 days, she may not put as much weight on because she's trained her body to be at that new weight. She stayed there long enough. The power of time. The power of time. So I hope this is making sense. If not, watch the video again, take notes. You have to give your body time to acclimate to that new set point. I know one time when I got pretty low and I stayed there consistently for several months, I could get away with a little bit more fluff and my body wanted to go back to that lower weight. So after a couple days of cleaning up my diet, I'd go right back down there. But when your set point is to the disadvantage, when it's high, it's so much more work. I have to work so much harder because every time I treat myself, my body says, thank you, Tracy, thank you. Let's get back to that weight that you've trained and conditioned me to be at, which is higher than the weight window I like to stay in. Yeah, it's not easy, but it takes time. So there you go. 3 reasons you're not taking the weight off. The yes and no's, the negotiables and non-negotiables, and not giving your body long enough to fall into a new weight set point and want to stay there. It's going to fight you. All right? The value of time. Before I wrap up, I just want to once again thank Skillshare for sponsoring a portion of today's video. Don't forget that the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description box below this video will get a free trial of premium membership so that you can learn some new skills. All right, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon right here on YouTube.